Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is another video where I am going to update you on what is going on with me with regard to my author journey. Don't worry, I'm just reframing myself in the frame. So it is 93 degrees outside and we do not have air conditioning and I had to turn the fan off. So I am uncomfortable to say the least, but let's get this over with because actually I've already recorded this video once before and it went on for way too long and I realized it's not interesting enough to cover 15 minutes. I can really condense this to less than 10. So that is my aim. I'm going to try to condense this to less than 10. So where we last left off was I had just completed the line edit phase and sent that back to my agent, that version of the manuscript back to my agent. She's got quite a few clients. So, you know, waiting for her to get to all of the other stuff with her other clients, and then to finally get back to me. The next phase after the line edit phase is pretty particular. It's like you use this word in paragraph 1 of chapter 3, but you use that exact same word in like paragraph 3 or paragraph 4 of chapter 3. So let's try a different word, shall we? Things like that. Or this sentence is confusing, reword it. Or holy crap, because of all the editing and changes we've made, this sentence doesn't make sense anymore because that thing didn't happen. Things like that. I took care of that, sent that back to her, and then the next step should be that she writes her pitch letter. I revised the summary because you will have already written the summary in order to even query agent usually. And but then that summary probably doesn't match up anymore with all the changes made, and quite some dramatic plot changes were made. So then I revised that, and then she's writing her pitch letter, and then we have a Zoom call, and then we talk about which of the editors we're sending it to, and then she sent it. And that should be the next step, but that is not what happened because once again, a brand new step dropped in. In fact, two unexpected steps dropped in. She said, oh, well, actually, I did make some additional changes to your manuscript because the idea is I send that to her and then we're done. But she, in reading it, made some changes, and so she wanted me to take a look at those changes. So she was like, so take a look at those changes. Also, feel free to make any other changes you want, but assuming you don't really make any other changes, then it's fine. Then go ahead and send it back to me with your revised synopsis. So as far as she was concerned, there were basically no additional steps involved. There was nothing new happening, but my brain started going crazy and I started thinking, oh my God, this is the last time my eyes will see this manuscript before one of the big time editors from the top 5 publishing houses will see it and decide my fate. So I better make sure that every single word is exactly right. And in so doing, I'm reading through and seeing the changes she made, which were not negligible. They were basically just, now maybe I'm wrong, and I assume I am, and I went ahead and matched it to what she was doing, but the ellipsis. I believed that in journalism, the ellipsis is treated completely differently than it is in fiction writing. In journalism, usually after the last letter of a word, there's usually a space, and then 3 dots with no spaces between those 3 dots, and then another space, and then the first letter of the next word. And usually there's brackets around it. And usually in journalism, the point of the ellipsis is completely different than the point in fiction writing, which is usually just to tell the reader, to indicate, hey, by the way, we took out something from this quote, but don't worry, we swear to the journalist gods that taking that out did not affect the rest of the sentence whatsoever. So you could not use that rudely, like by taking the word not out and then having it say, well, the killer said he did kill the person. If the original quote was he did not, you could not take out not and put an ellipsis there. That's not acceptable. But you know, if the journalist rambles on, if the quote from the person rambles on and on about like something else that's not really related to the quote, you can take that out, put the ellipsis in to really condense it to focus the sentence. To reiterate, last letter of last word, space, 3 dots, space, first letter of next word. In fiction writing, usually an ellipsis is used at the end of a sentence to indicate like the character's not really finishing that sentence, you know? So like, what should we do? I don't know. ... Well, we could dot 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 could what? I don't know. You know, anyways, the point is, in that case, my understanding is last letter of last word, like let's say the last word is no. So after the cano W, we have a space, we have a dot, we have another space, we have another dot, we have another space, and we have a dot. And then if for whatever reason it's like a questioning tone, another space and then a question mark. But the point is there are spaces involved. And she went ahead and changed all of my, half of my ellipses from about halfway through the manuscripts to the end to, instead of having all those spaces, to just, if the word is no, after the W, no space, dot, dot, dot. No spaces. And it's like, I think that's wrong, but you're the agent. I assume you know what you're doing. So in that case, let me just assume you know what you're doing, and I will go ahead and I will change everything in the first half of the book to match that. So I went ahead and fixed all those other ellipses. So I did that, and then also in the course of reading every single word, I made some changes. Nothing dramatic, nothing that changed the story, just a few things where a character had said something, like sentence 1 kind of covered topic A, sentence B like was topic B, and then sentence A was kind of like a rewording of sentence 1, and it was like, well, I don't really need this third sentence then if that's just the same thing as that one, and the word count is a little much, so let's just remove that since it's covering the exact same stuff, or let's combine elements from sentence 1 and sentence 3 into one sentence and let's move it to the end, or stuff like that. Or in a couple cases, I did find that I was making one of the rules that I thought I had learned and didn't do in this manuscript, which is no ly words. People don't do things slowly, they don't do things happily, you know, be more creative. So you don't say that she said it quietly, you would say something like, she said it just above a whisper, or something like that. So anyways, or that's not even very creative, you know, you would maybe want to say like, you know, she said, looking down at the wooden planks, or, you know, something else to convey that, but something more specific to the scene, more specific to the character. Ly words are kind of a crutch. So I found some of those and I was like, what the heck? I thought I already knew not to do this. And just a few other minor things. Again, nothing major. And then I did find a sentence towards the end of the manuscript where it talks about this event that occurred, but that event doesn't occur anymore because I've ripped that entire chapter out that event occurred in. And so as far as the continuity of this version of this manuscript is concerned, there was never a pho restaurant. The main character had, in a previous version of this, gone to a first date with somebody at a pho restaurant, but that entire chapter came out because it didn't even matter. We need to just move right through that. So the first date was just a coffee date, and we don't even need to talk about that. So anyways, the point is I saw that and was like, oh my gosh, this has been in here this whole time and I never thought to remove it. That's terrifying. Then I rewrote the synopsis to match the changes, and then something triggered in my brain. And for some reason, I was thinking about this literary agency has these amazing YouTube videos. They're called Bookends. So they have these great videos where the woman, I think, who owns Bookends, and then one of the junior agents do this YouTube series where they talk about different things. And I remember both of them talking about synopses as being very long. And I'm looking at my synopsis and it's 2 pages long, and I think, oh no. Well, thank goodness I have got the opportunity to really flesh this out, because I'm remembering them saying, I thought I remember them saying something about how they need to be very detailed. So I wrote an extremely detailed 7-page, or was it 8-page, it doesn't matter, synopsis. And then I finally finished that at like 10 p.m. and sent it to my agent, and then she promptly said, oh, whoops, this is 8 pages and it needs to be 2. And I'm like, yeah, whoops. I knew that. I know that. I know that's a factoid that I know, that synopses are supposed to be 2 pages. So how the heck I got I tricked myself into believing that it needed to be really detailed, and I don't know why. So anyways, she was like, so I'm gonna send it back to you with some suggestions on how to cut it down. And I mean, her suggestions were great, and even then I struggled to really, even though I had originally only written a 2-page synopsis to begin with, it was really hard to cut it back down to those 2 pages, but I did. And then I sent that back to her, and now we're done. Now she's writing her pitch letter, and then we're going to have a Skype call, I assume sometime soon, and maybe hopefully like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. I'm going camping on Thursday, so it can't be then. And then I'm out of town soon. So anyway, hopefully soon. And then, I mean, I can have it while I'm out of town. That's not a problem. But then that's the next big step is we're all done fiddling with manuscript. She's going to tidy up my synopsis. She's just going to take a look at it and see what she can do with it. Probably nothing, but probably something, who knows. And she's writing her pitch letter, and then we're sending it out to the publishers. So keep your fingers crossed for me that somebody actually wants to buy my book. But anyways, I'll keep you updated on whatever new additional steps come along. But the next step should probably just be months and months down the road, maybe 9 months down the road. The next step should probably be such and such publisher bought my book. Except I might not even be able to say that. I might be able to put out a video that says a publisher bought my book, but I think I'm not allowed to reveal who it is up until, even after contracts are signed, up until a certain editorial pass. I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd editorial pass from the publisher. And then the book truly becomes official, and that's when the publisher posts it out to the world on this thing called Publishing Marketplace, or I think maybe the agent does that, where they say, you know, book such and such, and you know. Anyway, keep your fingers crossed that that happens sooner rather than later, or at all. That'd be great. At all would also be awesome. So see you guys for the next video. Bye guys.